Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, franchise fraud, all of these different names are synonymous for sketchy multi-level marketing companies. Now, in my opinion, there is not a such thing as a non-sketchy multi-level marketing company, but apparently there are, which is why they are still legal in the United States. Overall, pyramid schemes are illegal in 50 different countries, including the United States, Canada, Mexico, and that is where the product is actually only sold to the people that are going to be selling it. And mainly in these pyramid schemes, what happens is you have the person at the top and they have downlines. So then they are the official upline, the person that owns the company. And they all are distributing this product that is some sort of miracle product, right? It's the best product on the market. It's impossible that you can find anything better. And they go forward and they try to recruit everyone that they ever encounter to either become a product user or a distributor. So I, Allie Marie here at My Catholic Perspective, I joined a multi-level marketing company back when I was 18 years old and chose to do that instead of pursuing a 4-year degree that my dad was going to pay for. And I want to talk today, Sarah over at the Catholic Homemaker, she's joined 11 different multi-marketing companies. She's the one who activated these videos. Lauren over at Whole Catholic Living, she is also doing a video on this. And because they both have experience in multi-level marketing, as do I. And so we wanted to share from a Catholic perspective what that looks like. Is it okay as a Catholic to join a multi-level marketing company? Is it okay to promote that? And how do we move forward if we are a part of one? So if you are interested in all things My Catholic Perspective, feel free to subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video, which is every Thursday at 3 p.m. So as I was saying, I joined a nutrition company. It was a nutrition one. It was a Miracle Juice. Anyone who knew me at that time when I was 18 will probably comment or contact me and say, oh yeah, that Miracle Juice you were selling, because they say contact everyone you know. You want to reach out to everyone because this is the way that you make money. We're going to do cold calls. We're going to do this. And guess what? I was really good at it. I was personable, I was friendly, I was great at giving those every other night presentations that we were asked to attend. I was really good at sales. I was able to draw people in. My whole thing here at My Catholic Perspective is that I try to take something and kind of simplify it so that anyone could understand it, so that it's not this complex thing, like this Miracle Juice, right? So I still even remember because they had presentations every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. and then at 10:30 on Saturdays. And we were asked to attend these presentations every single week. And we were it was basically drilled into our brains, all these things. It's like a brainwashing where it's an obsession. It's something that takes priority over everything else, that you're supposed to just dive into it and you'll never have to work another job. This is your place to be. So that's how they got me to not go to college, right? Which I'm very disappointed that, these older people than me, they're in their 30s, right? They're doing this and they didn't we're you have 4 years of college paid for, you should probably go. No, they were oh no, you don't need to go to college. No one needs college. And I am one of the biggest regrets in my life. I could have had the dorm experience. I was accepted to Northern Michigan University. I was supposed to go there. So I definitely have when you look at it from a Catholic perspective, protecting the innocent, I was definitely naive. They were not out for my best interests. Maybe they thought that they did, because there is a genuine brainwashing that goes on. They genuinely think that they're going to make money at this and that they are making money. I don't think that any of the people that were in the office that I worked in I don't think any of them are still involved with that company. So there you have it. But I was there every time I started doing the presentations. I was a part of this multi-level marketing company pyramid scheme for less than 6 months, and I was really good at it. I had a lot of customers. I was able to recruit a lot of people, and ultimately I lost over $4,000. I was making money, but they tell you to reinvest that money. So, we're buying sticky notes and going and putting them on cars. We're cold calling. We're buying more products. My auto ship had to be at least 100 points, which is, I don't know, $100 a month. And so there were all of these stipulations of what you had to do to be a distributor, and it ended up causing me to lose money. So at the very top of this miracle juice company that I had joined, there was a man named Joe. And my dad tried warning me about this when I joined the company, because I was like, no, he's so successful, because every month we would go to this big get together and I was gaining all the customers I was supposed to get. I was like, top in the office. I had the most stuff every month. Like, I was doing really, really well. And so they did these get-togethers that were like pump you up seminars once a month that were in Chicago at a fancy hotel where you shared a room with 3 other people and split the bill and all these different things. And so Joe was successful, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, like we all want to be like him. He's like our person that we're looking up to. He is the guy. And sure, he probably made some money from this pyramid scheme as well, because he is the ultimate upline. But he also had a paper company that was doing something like $7 million a year. And so my dad tried telling me, he's like, he didn't even make all of his money from this. He's a crook. He's telling you that this is how you're going to be successful, but at the end of the day, you're not. And my dad was right. I, was at a point in my life where I trusted strangers more than him. Silly me. But when we look at this from a Catholic perspective, when we look at these multi-level marketing, this get rich quick, right? Like, get this, do this, and you'll never have to work again. It reminds me sorely of the whole ideology of once saved, always saved, right? Like, get this job, never work again. Give your heart to Christ, and you never have to worry about your salvation again. Well, that's not the reality. The reality is that it is a constant process, right? Like, our salvation is not one and done. They will know we are Christians by our love. Faith without works is dead. We are called to be acting as Christians, and we are called to be in this continual state of conversion, just as we are called to be fervent workers. We are supposed to put our hand to the plow and not look back. Like, there is so much around what it means to be a good worker. And don't get me wrong, being a part of a multi-level marketing company is hard work. Like, you are working late hours. You are there every single day. You are on the phone after phone call after phone call after phone call, like, constantly working, right? Like, it is not an easy job. You have people like hanging up on you. You have people coming in. You're scheduling appointments. You're going here. You're driving to the customers. You're doing all this stuff, which is money. And that's how I ended up losing $4,000. And that's probably how people feel that they're making money. Because I bet I was probably making, like $1,000 a month, but then I was reinvesting that plus some. And so a lot of these people that are in the multi-level marketing go off and they get serving jobs, which is what I did. My first job was at Steak and Shake, which is while I jointly worked with this MLM company. I remember the 4 people that were in that office, they had an apartment together. It was like a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment. They all paid $175 a month and invited me to live with them. Because it's like that whole Dave Ramsey idea of live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. And so the multi-level marketing company has them thinking this way, but it's actually like they're reinvesting all of their money, and then they end up losing more than they really think. And it feels like you're succeeding because you're getting pats on the back. They're telling you how great of a job you're doing. And it really preys on the innocent. It preys on the naive, because it's saying, I know you only have $200 in your bank account right now, but I tell you, if you buy this $150 startup pack, you are going to make that money back. If you put in the work, if you do this, if you do that. I said it. I was selling it to people, and they believed me. Because why wouldn't they? I'm this trusting face and this trusting voice, and I have all these things, this miracle juice that has this resveratrol that's in wine, but it's concentrated, and so it can cure all your ailments. And people have, they've lowered their blood pressure, they've done this, they've done that. All of these miraculous things have happened with this juice. And the vitamins that it has, your pee is a really bright yellow, and that's showing you that your body's using all that it can, and otherwise other vitamins are just giving you expensive pee. Looking back at it now, it's no, those vitamins were, that's why my pee was changing color. That's why everyone, and it's just so interesting how you can, look at proof and then still turn the other way. How, similar in the Catholic faith, how people can see the fruits that come forward in these great saints. You see Saint Teresa of Calcutta, you see, Saint Teresa of Avila. Let's just talk about all the Teresas. Saint Teresa of Lisieux. Like, you see all of these great saints though, and Saint John of the Cross, like all of these people that are in the Catholic faith that have like done so much good, and there's proof that it brings about so much grace, and yet people want to look at the Catholic Church and say, oh, you worship idols. You're not really worshiping God. And it's like, hey, if we're not worshiping God, then we're not doing any good. And guess what? There's good being done. And what does that say? Like, there's no good outside of God. Like, you know, it's through God that we're able to do anything. And so if there is goodness going on, like, it's clearly coming through God. And it's just, it's all backwards. And so when we look at multi-level marketing and we look at all these different aspects, like, I would strongly encourage anybody to avoid them. I think that, you know, if you have like extra money and you're just looking for something fun, and, you know, and I'm not saying that some of these things don't have great products. Like, I'm not going to discount that. Mary Kay has an amazing mascara that I really like. It's really expensive. You know, all mascaras are expensive. I have a problem with expensive mascara in general. But like, it's not that they're bad products, you know, but to sit there and say this is the best thing you could ever get, and if you sell it, you're gonna just succeed, and you're gonna be rich, and you're gonna be like these people, and you're gonna have this community, and like, they have so many different things that like pump you up, but it's not actually going to bring success. And that's like the Protestant church. Like, I was just talking to my husband last night, like, I miss the passion at church. Like, I miss like putting my hands up in the air and being like, Jesus, I love you, and whatever else. Like I miss so much of that. I know that there are places in the church that you can go, retreats and this and that, but I'm talking about every Sunday at Mass. Like, in the Protestant church, every Sunday is like an emotional experience. And I think that the Catholic Church, you know, there's the argument that a lot of people say. It's like, well, it's not about you. It's about Jesus. We're there to respect Jesus. We're there to like see him and consume him. And it's not about emotion. However, I think that we as human beings are emotional beings, and that is a very important aspect of ourselves to be touching on in the church. And so priming that, and like, so I've been telling my husband how much I miss that, and sometimes in our day-to-day jobs, we don't have that. But in a multi-level marketing company, in like a pyramid scheme type such situation, it is like that pump up. Like, you go and they're like, yeah, and you got that music going and a free, you know, you got a bar going, they aren't IDing you. You know, I got to drink when I was 18 in a public place and was like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm really disappointed. You know, we can only ever speak from our own experiences. This is my own experience. And I know Sarah says that like it's her own experience, and Lauren, like, we all can only do that. And I know that there have been so many others that have been burned by these multi-level marketing companies. Like, it is very few that succeed. And for the ones that do stick it out longer and like, you know, maybe are somewhat successful, like, I don't know if they're just not bookkeeping well. Maybe they are. Like I said, I was really good at this. Like, I was one of the best while I was doing it. I, in less than 6 months, lost $4,000. And it's just like, if I hadn't tracked like my mileage, and if I hadn't like had my dad there like helping me with my budget and helping me track that stuff, because he's filed his own taxes. He taught me how to file my own taxes when I was 18. Like, I wouldn't have known. I would have been like, no, I'm making money. Like, look, here's my 1099. Like, it says I've made $3,000 or whatever else. And it's just really disheartening. I'm really glad that Sarah brought this up, though. Like I said, did I say that she's joined 11 multi-level marketing companies and lost money in every single one? And so when we talk about pyramid schemes, like, that's what they are. Like, they like, the people up at the top might be making money, you know, they probably are, because it's all about who's below you. And so once you're here, and I will also say one last thing, it ruins relationships. Like I was kind of talking about earlier, like that obsession. The obsession is there. And so there was a girl that I met at the post office once, and she was really outgoing. She was really, really nice, super kind. I was like, wow, this girl is like, you know, I talked to her about my Catholic perspective, like this blog for a minute, and she was like super interested, and I was like, wow, this could be really great. Like, I could have a new friend. Wow, this would be wonderful, because I had just moved out to, you know, I was in Paw Paw at the time. And so she asked me to go to lunch. I was like, sure, yeah, let's go. And so we went to lunch, and we're sitting there talking. Next thing I know, she's a part of a multi-level marketing company that has some sort of like gene therapy deal that's supposed to cure everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, well I was a part of one, when I was 18, I'm not really interested. She was like, oh, what was it, and I told her, and she was like, well, I'm like really succeeding at this, I'm making like $2,000 a month, I'm gonna be able to quit my job soon, and all this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, well that's nice, I'm not interested. And she just kind of kept pushing it a little bit, but then she, also was saying, oh, well, it's not a big deal if you don't want to join, like, I understand, I don't like to be pushy about it. But then we, became friends on Facebook for a minute, and like every single day she was like, so have you gotten to look into the gene therapy stuff yet? And I'm just like, nope. And she like invited me to this group, and at that point, like, I did not feel like she authentically asked me to lunch. It was like, you didn't ask me to lunch because you wanted to get to know me. You didn't ask me to lunch because you were genuinely interested in my life or wanting to like share your life. Like, you asked me because you wanted me to be a distributor or to like use the stuff. And when I said no, like, you just kept pushing it because she firmly believed in the product. And that's what a good multi-level marketing company does, is they cause their patrons and their distributors to believe in the product, because if you believe in it, you're going to help somebody else believe in it. And so I just think that it can be dangerous, especially if we are trying to reach people where they are, if we're trying to allow people to like be who they are and grow in Christ and everything else. I don't think that approaching them and then like, because if you're in a pyramid scheme, that is the forefront of your mind, because you are supposed to be talking to everyone and everyone and everyone, because that's how you're going to be successful. And since you believe in the product, you think you're doing them a service by like telling them about it, because you're like, no, this stuff works, like you're passionate. And it's just, it doesn't work. Like, it ends up not working. It ends up harming relationships, and you end up losing money. Proof is in the pudding. Me, Sarah, Lauren, we all, I don't think people who are a part of it are necessarily bad people unless they're aware of what they're doing, The Joe guy at the top of mine, I think he knew. I think he knew he wasn't being honest when he didn't talk about his paper company. I think he knew he wasn't being honest at how much he was making because of X, Y, or Z. Like, it's just, there are a lot of, a lot of aspects of it, and I mean, there are crooks in it. And so I'm not saying everyone is, but there are some. And so being wary of what you're joining. If anything, it's asking you to put money down up front. Be cautious of that. As a server, you have to like buy your uniform or something. That's different. I'm talking about actually buying a product to utilize and then having to buy more every single month in order to maintain your distribution membership. So that's all I have to say. Everything in life brings us to where we are, so I'm here today. God's good. I'm glad I'm a massage therapist and now a mom, so it's all working out well, and I just sometimes wonder where I would be if life had gone a little bit different, and if those people had like looked out for me and kind of encouraged me to go to college instead of joining their little scheme. So God bless. I hope He is able to grant you the resources that you need to draw closer to Him and to those around you, and I hope you're able to make it a great day. We'll see you again next week, Thursday at 3.